Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's video probably looks quite different behind me to what my first video did, and that is because I'm in my bedroom, because I realised the most practical place to film a video is definitely not the stairs because it is not the most comfortable, and I just thought I'd give you a bit prettier background. It's a lot more comfortable for me as well because I'm currently sitting on my bed. So today's video is all about me and get you guys getting to know me. So we're just going to jump straight in, and I'm not going to try and ramble too much in this video because I am known by everybody that I can talk for England. So I'm going to try not to do that, and let's just jump straight in. So I'm going to start with the more boring stuff like my name and where I live, because it's sort of common information that you might want to know, and I'm going to put it out there. So my name's Ellie, I'm 19 years old, and my birthday's on the 8th of July, so lovely summer baby, if we get the weather for it. Now, that's not always guaranteed, but I live in a little seaside town called Gorse-on-Sea, which is basically on the hump of the UK on the far east coast. Now, if you don't know where I mean, I'm going to insert a photo of the map of the UK, just so you can see exactly where I mean, because not a lot of people know where it is unless you're from around here. If you're from around this area and from the Norfolk, which is the county, you will know where I mean, but if you're not, then you're not really going to have a clue because it is so small and there really isn't a lot here. But it's home and it's where I've lived all my life. Not in this house though. Me and my mum moved here in January 2011. And that's because my mum and dad got divorced in October 2010. Now, as a family, we lived 5 minutes that way, and it is actually that way. And I grew up in that house, and my dad continued to live in there, and then me and my mum just moved into here. So we were still really close to my dad, which was really important for my mum. And by moving here, it meant that I am actually opposite the primary school that I was going to at the time. It is a 10-minute walk at most to the high school that I go to, and a 10-minute walk to the college that I went to. So it is literally, my house is here, and it's a big sort of circle radius around where everything that I went to is, which is really handy. Like I said, there isn't a lot here, so it works out quite nicely actually. But my dad now actually lives in Australia, which is mad. It happened quite quickly. I found out over Christmas when I came home from university, and he's moved over there with his wife, and they've been married since October 2013 now, so coming up to 7 years, which has gone really quickly actually. But they now live in Australia, and it was a big step, it was a big move for them, and obviously for me, for having him 5 minutes down the road to now 24 hours away on a plane. Bit different, taken a lot of getting used to, but we video call all the time, we call on the phone on the weekends. It's not quite the same as just popping down the road to have dinner or anything, but it is what it is. He basically went over there for work. He got a contract with a business, he's a bus mechanic, so he used to work for the bus company of First, which is the local bus services sort of in this part of the UK, and also in Scotland. That's an interesting fact, because when I went to Edinburgh, or Edinburgh, depending on which part of the country you're in, they use First buses up there, which I didn't know until I went, and it was quite interesting because it was a little bit like I was back at home, even though I really wasn't. So he worked for them for near enough when he finished school, all the way up until recently. But he got a job out there, and he's over there on a 4-year contract. It could obviously last longer. And at the end of the day, they're happy, and that's all I want. So if they're happy, I'm happy. And I plan to go out there next July actually, to see them, to go stay with them. As part of sort of like my 21st birthday. It has been on my bucket list for as long as I can remember to go to Australia, And although I went out there for my second birthday, I really don't remember it. My family didn't expect me to, but my dad's sister used to live out there, so we stayed with her while we went out there. But I'd love to go back out there again, and I really can't wait. But now more about me, I suppose, and how I got to where I am now. So like I said, primary school is opposite my house. My high school is a 10-minute just walk away. And so is my college. So I did 12 GCSEs at high school, including triple fast track science, which basically meant I had 6 lessons a week instead of 9, because I was in the top set, so it meant that I had a chance to do it extra fast, and I hated it. I really did. Science is not for me. Never has been. Neither's maths. I'm definitely an English person, and it is true what they say. You are either an English person or a maths person. I have never met anybody who is both. And if you are both, then let me know, because it'd be really interesting to know how that works. So when I went to college, it was a college that was quite academic. So there's 2 colleges around here. One in the next town over, which is more practical and hands-on. So you can do hairdressing and beauty degree courses like A-levels, and you actually do them physically. But the college that I went to is known as a 6th form. Now I understand that this has a very different meaning depending on where you are in the country. So from where I'm from, so down here, it means it's just a college. We do A-levels, you do BTECs. It's a standalone building, it is just a college. Whereas in different parts of the country, I have learnt this very recently, 6th form has a different meaning, and I still can't quite get my head around it, because there is colleges, there is 6th forms, and there's something else, but I can't quite remember it. So yeah, that's what I mean. It's literally just a standalone college, and probably just a bog standard college anywhere else. So I did 3 ASs in my first year, which was psychology, sociology and English language. I hated sociology. I joined it 2 weeks late because I originally was doing graphics. Really hated that as well. So I only got an E in that, which isn't great. But it is 6 UCAS points for anyone who's wondering. And every point counts when you're going to university. But I really hated that. I slept through half of one of the exams, in actual fact. I didn't do it. That's how much I hated it. So I dropped that at the end of the first year. I think you could probably gather where that was going. But I really struggled in my first year. Everybody warned me about the big jump from GCSEs to A-levels. I didn't think it would be that bad. I'd be like, oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, I really wasn't. I really did struggle, didn't really want to do it. But I got through it. I did it, and I did 2 more years. So there we go. Proves how things can change. So at the end of first year, I dropped sociology, like I just said, and I did pass English and I passed psychology, but I really didn't like how intense 3 A-levels were, and didn't want to do that. So I kept psychology because I absolutely loved it. I found it so interesting, learning about the brain and how the mind works and how memory works, behaviour, everything that it had to offer. I absolutely loved and was so interested in. It was so hard because there was so many theories, research, concepts, everything to remember. And it was exam based, so it was you either know it or you don't. So that part of the course I found really hard, but I loved it. So I did that in my second year, but we had to have a minimum of 3 subjects. You could do 4 if you were really smart. Didn't want to do 4, struggled with 3. 4 was not for me. So I picked up a double block. So it meant that it classed as 2 subjects of health and social care, and it was BTEC. So it's all coursework, and I loved it. I did health and social as a GCSE. Again, it was BTEC at high school, and I loved it, and I did really well on it. And I thought I wasn't going to pick it up in first year of college because I was like, oh, I've just done this. Don't want to do it again. I want to do something different. Hence sociology, hence psychology. But I kept my English because I loved it so much that I just wanted to see where an A-level could go in it, really, and it was so different to what it is at high school. So people thinking that, oh, I don't want to do English language at college because it's going to be all the same. It's really not. I promise you, from somebody who's done it, it's so different. So second year went a lot better because I didn't have all 3 A-levels or ASs to deal with because they were all exam based. So psychology was exam based, and it went from 2 exams in year 1 to 3 exams in year 2. But that I didn't mind. It was still hard because second year you had to know everything from first year still, which I didn't know a lot, but I passed it. I got a C, did really well for me. I was happy with that. Some other people won't be, but I really struggled and my mental health went up and down quite a lot in year 1 and year 2. I really wanted to quit, didn't think it was for me, and I only stuck with it because my mum was such a driving force behind me, and so were a lot of my teachers. In actual fact, my attendance also dipped in year 2, a lot of phone calls home, but I couldn't help it. I really didn't want to be there, but I stuck with it because deep down I knew that I needed to do it, and that kept me going in a way. I hated it at times, but I knew I wasn't going to love it all. So that happened. Year 3 was a better year by far. I basically picked my English language back up. Now, I was only able to do this because even though I had a year out of it, it was still the same syllabus from year 1 to year 3. And if I'd have left it a year later, which meant 4 years at college, which I'd have then had to pay for and I didn't want to do, the syllabus for the English language course would have changed and I wouldn't have been able to pick it back up. So I was actually quite lucky in retrospect that I was able to pick it back up, because it meant that I left college with 4 A-levels because of double health and social care I did over 2 years. It classes as 2 subjects, and then I had my English and I had my psychology. So I did extremely well, not trying to blow my own trumpet. So that's my college experience. So if you are struggling, I didn't want to ramble too much, but I feel like I have. I just wanted to get the point across that if you are sort of in the same situation as I was, stick with it. I promise you, you won't regret it. It is hard and it isn't easy, as other people might think, but it is worth it because I've now just completed my first year at university, and it is somewhere that I never thought I'd get because the idea really scared me, and it always has. Always put my foot down firmly because I'm really stubborn. That's another thing about me that's also a blessing and a curse. I'm so stubborn, and I was like, I'm not going to university. My family was like, you need to go, this is something that will be one of the best experiences of your life. Speak to your auntie, speak to your cousins, they've done it. I was like, no, not for me, don't want to do it. But I've wanted to be a teacher since I was 4. Now, 3rd year of college, light bulb moment, not by me, or not because of me, because of my teacher. She said, you cannot do it any other way. You have to go to university. I'm like, oh, great. So I was not prepared to give up on my dream, and I do not urge anybody to get put off by university. Yes, it is scary. Yes, it is daunting, and I have not helped myself because my university is a 6-hour drive on a good day away from where I live. So again, I will insert a picture of where my university is and the distance that it is. It's about 300 miles, I think. Don't quote me. I will have to double check. So it's a long drive and it's a long haul. Now, I get a lot of questions about why this university, which is Edge Hill University, and it's based in a really small town of Ormskirk, which is half an hour drive away from Liverpool. So for me, it's quite similar from the town that I live in now, and it's the same sort of distance to the closest city here. So my closest city here is Norwich, and it's about half-hour drive, again, on a good day, if the Acle Strait, if you know it, you get what I mean. If the Acle Strait isn't closed, If you're not from around here, it's basically a really dangerous road and lots of accidents happen, and it is the main way into our city. So if that's closed, then it takes a good 2 hours, because my mum works in Norwich. She does the journey every day and she always comes through the door and complains about the road like mad. So I know what it's like, not just from experience but from earache. So it's quite similar up at university, town and location wise, to what's down here. So it's kind of a home away from home, and I know that's the whole point of university. I absolutely love it. I never thought I would, because I then realised in my 3rd year of college that I was like, right, okay, I'm going to go to university. My family was like, okay, good for you, I'm so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, but, and they're like, well, what? I'm like, I'm not going to live in halls. No way, not doing it. Terrified me, absolutely terrified me. Again, it was my anxiety. Really felt like I couldn't cope with that idea of moving far away from home and then in halls with 6 to 8 strangers. Now, let me tell you, not everybody gets as lucky as I did, because my flat, I'm not going to big them up too much because I think it'll be too much of an ego boost for them, but they were brilliant. I've had the best year with all my friends at university. All the people that I've met have been great. Some greater than others, some there for me more than others. You really do make friends for life up at uni, and I need to make a point now before my best friend kills me. I have got great people down here as well. Now, they have all travelled up to see me. I don't know why. They must be mad to do the journey and wanting to do the journey, but what can I say? Yeah, no, I love them at home as well, and I love them up at uni. Friends really do make or break your university. So if you're going to go to university and it is far away from home, I do advise going to live in halls. Yes, it's daunting. Yes, it's scary. But have that leap of faith. Really do strive for it, because it's so much fun. It really is. I'm now trying to get back into the routine of not trying to cook pasta at 5 o'clock in the morning, because that's the sort of time that mum gets up for work. Should be asleep by then, really. Can't be doing that here. You do get into a weird little pattern and a routine at university, and it really does shock you how different that is to normal life. But I was coined as the mum of the flat. Right from day one, I was the first person to move in. I was the first person to sort of care about everyone. I've never met these people in my life, and within a week I was known as the mum of the flat. And in fairness, the mum of the flat next door, which was my boyfriend's flat, we have been together for nearly 6 months now, and that's gone so quick. His name's Sam. He is absolutely lovely. Best person I think I've ever met. Yeah, and if it wasn't for university, I really wouldn't have met him along with all the other people that I have met, and I would still be stuck in this little town of nothingness. It really has opened my eyes on everything, on how little we have in this little hump of the UK. We have nothing. There is no connections. Our closest motorway is 2 and a bit hours away. When I'm up at uni, it takes about 5 minutes to get on the motorway. It is insane. That's one thing I still haven't gotten used to, is how many connections and how many motorways they have up there. It's simply just to go to 10 minutes down the road, you get on a motorway. Half an hour away, you're on 4. It's like, we don't have that down here. It's such a different way of living. I love it, and I really do miss it. And I have rambled quite a lot about that. I wasn't going to, really didn't want to. But I just wanted to get the point across that it is important to go for what you want to go for. I found Edge Hill on a website called What Uni. I do advise it. I didn't know, like I said, I wanted to go to university. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, knew I wanted to do a primary education degree with QTS, which is what the degree I'm on. And QTS, for those of you who don't know, is a qualified teacher status, which basically means at the end of the 3 years I can walk straight into a school, obviously once I've got a job, and teach straight away. Whereas if you do it the other route, which is the PGCE route, and now I can't remember what that stands for. I know it's postgraduate, but I can't remember the CE bit. And if you do it the PGCE way, you basically do a degree of your choice for whatever length of that course is. So say it's a psychology degree, it's a 3-year degree. You do that, and then you can do a PGCE, which is a year. So all in all, it's 4 years, it's 2 degrees. But at the end of your PGCE, you are qualified to teach. So there isn't just one way of doing it. But I found Edge Hill on What Uni. Now, because it is so far away, a lot of people do ask me how I find it. That's why I'm telling you. I absolutely fell in love with the uni from the moment that I saw the promotional video that they did of campus. It is a purpose-built university, and it's great. So if you are struggling with where you want to go for university, what uni, check it out, because you can filter out so many options. You can do the grades that you think you're going to get, you can do location, you can do the degree, length, whether you want exams or coursework. Now, I did not want exams. That was one of my big things. I did not care where I ended up. I knew the degree I wanted to do, and I knew I didn't want to do exams. So they were my 2 filtered options. And you can basically then pick, I think it's like 6 or 7 ones, and it basically compares it in a table for you. And you can see what the different statistics for each university is side by side, and it's so easy. And that's how I ended up where I ended up. So sorry for a little bit of a ramble, but I thought it was really important to kind of get that across. Another fun fact about me, just a random one, I'm allergic to pineapple. It's not something that's very common. It's definitely not on all the allergy menus, as I found out in Byron in Liverpool. Made the mistake of saying I had an allergy and it was pineapple, and it was quite embarrassing that I had to sit there and flick through the whole menu of the allergens to find out that it wasn't in there. So yeah, lesson learned. Don't order anything with pineapple in it, and don't say you have an allergy of pineapple in a burger restaurant where they don't serve anything with pineapple. So yeah, I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You're more than welcome to leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. And also, happy Easter. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.